Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal, Wahawad La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Raka, Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles and the elder bishops and the elders at the Great Millstone GMS who do rule well and teach well, laboring in this word and doctrine, and are our true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Abaratazah, which means Father willing. So Father willing, this lesson is edifying. Now today is Saturday the 29th of August 2026, the year of apostate sellouts and agents. I'm at the plantation right now, graveyard shift, night shift. Just on break at the moment, so excuse the music in the background. A demon comes up here and plays it, man. Lord willing, the transmission goes through clearly. So, one step closer to the beast system. Inspiration for this lesson is drawn from this article that you see on your screen. Plus I have a few more to show you, Lord willing. Alright, and I will place all the links to those sites in the description box beneath. And boy oh boy, man, time is moving ever so quickly. EndTimeHeadlines.org. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Santander, and more than a dozen major banks advance plans to launch a crypto stablecoin. This article was dated August 26, 2026. Banks go crypto, Wells Fargo, Santander, Bank of America, and more. Stablecoin. A coalition of some of the world's largest lenders is moving from discussion to execution on a bank-issued crypto stablecoin, according to a report from Bing X Flash News amplifying Wednesday's market alerts. Yeah. See, crypto XRP, that's about to pop, because we can see that we are indeed heading towards that digital system. Everything is going digital, and the dollar, as far as cash is concerned, is about to be obsolete. All right. Leading up to the RFID micro CHIP, which is the mark of the BEAST. That's the end-all be-all of this man's monetary system. Right, Esau Edom, so-called white man. Okay. Right, beginning with the top elites. Right, the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, the usual suspects. Those wearers of the small hats. International banking dynasty families. Alright, that run this whole world in wickedness behind the scenes. Okay. Yeah, they own all the diamond districts and all that. Okay. Banks and stuff. Okay. Oh, these flies everywhere, man. At work and everything. All around the fridge, man. It's nasty. Something's going on, man. And they haven't fixed that bleeding ceiling yet. With that leakage. Great Britain. Yeah. So yeah, he will implement that, what was I saying? Yeah. The micro CHIP, that's the mark of the beast, yeah. That's the end all be all of this man's monetary system. He will implement that via this digital coin that he's ushering in. Okay. Yeah. Crypto and all these other things like that is really another step closer towards the finalization of the beast system. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Santander, and more than a dozen other major financial institutions are advancing plans for a digital token that could operate across borders and compete directly with the private stablecoins that already move hundreds of billions of dollars. The development, first detailed by the Wall Street Journal and rapidly circulated through crypto market channels, marks a sharp reversal from the industry's earlier resistance. Banks that spent months lobbying against non-bank digital dollars are now building their own, worried that payment giants, asset managers, and technology firms will lock in the rails of the next financial system before traditional lenders can respond. Yeah, the market is geared towards that digital reality, yeah, which is what, again, another step closer towards the beast system. And it's clear as day, it's evident. If you cannot see it, tough luck. All right, the Lord is not dealing with you. You're spiritually blinded. This is all taking place in real time, in real life, right in front of your very own eyes. Okay, and they've been doing this. They're just putting these articles out now. Okay. Banks that spent months lobbying. Oh, I read that, didn't I? The planned venture would begin with a token backed by the US dollar, with later expansion into the euro and potentially other group of 7 currencies. Officials familiar with the talks say the product is aimed at commercial and wholesale uses, corporate treasury, cross-border settlement, and programmable payments rather than a retail consumer coin at launch. You hear that? Everything's digital. They can track and see where you last spent. Where you last spent your money, how much you spent, where from, and things of that nature. It's all trackable. You see, so that gives them more control, of course. Use cases would be tailored by market, giving the group flexibility as regulators in the United States, Europe, and Asia finalize rules for payment stablecoins. JP Morgan Chase, the largest US bank, has separately evaluated issuing its own stablecoin. People familiar with the matter told the Journal. The bank already runs JPM Coin, a tokenized deposit used by institutional clients on its private blockchain. A JP Morgan spokeswoman said, while we have no plans to issue a stablecoin, the bank would still evaluate its options based on customer demand and regulatory developments. Okay. That cautious public line sits beside a broader industry shift. Last May, the same newspaper reported early conceptual talks amongst entities tied to JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and other large lenders. See, all this is being done on a worldwide scale. Don't forget about the digital pound and the digital euro. Okay. It's all leading to this. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay. So it's more than just simply the American dollar or what's going on between these American banks. This will be a global thing, real talk. This RFIDC HIP is not just limited to the USA, Babylon the Great alone. It will be for the entire planet. Okay. Yeah, and they want everybody to be surgically implanted with this, device. Okay, this micro chip. Alright, and if you deny that, then you ain't going to be able to buy and trade and sell in society. You'll basically be outcasted from society. You won't be able to operate and function. Okay. You see? So yeah. But of course the elector will not be deceived into taking this C-HIP. Alright? And there'll be other people that will take it too, but it don't mean that they're going to be saved. There'll be heathens that don't take it. Most of these people are going to take it anyway. Especially to keep that job and their family and that so-called comfortable life and all that. Alright? But, there'll be people that still deny it, just like those that didn't bother getting the Crown 19 thing. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be saved, because they won't be. Those conversations have now matured into an active consortium that includes Santander and a wider group of more than a dozen banks. Smaller institutions are moving in parallel. A coalition of 39 state bankers associations representing roughly 3,000 banks announced this week a bank-owned blockchain platform of their own. The urgency is commercial as much as technological. Existing dollar stablecoins already command a market measured in the hundreds of billions. Visa, BlackRock, Google, DoorDash, and others have entered or announced plans to enter the same space. Bank executives who once questioned whether demand existed now see the risk of deposits and payment volume migrating off traditional balance sheets if they remain on the sidelines. No launch date or ticker has been disclosed. The project remains in the planning and structuring phase, and details could still change, yet the direction is unmistakable. The institutions that once treated crypto as a threat are now racing to issue the digital dollars that will sit at the center of global payments. And the American dollar is being devalued every day anyway. Alright. So yeah. For markets already watching every signal of institutional adoption, the message from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Santander, and their peers is that the next phase of on-chain money will not be left solely to crypto-native firms, and that's the end of the article. Okay. Yeah. And what do all these CEOs of these big major corporations and banks know? That's got them all wanting to go digital, right? Move towards that stablecoin. Clearly, they see that this place is on its way out. Okay. This system is on its way out. And the B system is fully emerging. So yeah, lots of things happening, man. Alright. From endtimeheadlines.org again. Arizona becomes the first state to launch digital birth certificates for MVD services. Arizona's taken a historic step into the digital age of identity verification. Yeah. You see? Digital ID. That plays a role. Digital wallet. Oh yeah. Don't forget about central bank digital currencies that these different countries are on board with and developing. So it's motor vehicle division offices. All right. According to a report from KJZZ, Arizona-born residents can now present a digital version of their birth certificate. And that's a documented form of slavery. You can do research on that. All right. On their smartphones when seeking MVD services. See, Arizona goes digital. The new system is the result of a partnership between the Arizona Department of Health Services and the Department of Transportation. Residents statewide can access what officials call a digital birth credential through a mobile app, allowing them to complete identity verification without relying solely on a physical paper document. Yeah, because really they want to do away with all that physical ID stuff. Okay. Yeah. The program was first tested in 2025 at 3 MVD locations before expanding across the state. Officials describe the rollout as a significant modernization of one of the most foundational identity records. Yeah. Look at this from biometricupdate.com. The few more articles I'll show you is still from biometricupdate.com. Alright, but it's all tying into, the same thing. Swiss biometric ID set to replace older cards for EU travel, dated August the 27th, 2026. Switzerland will start issuing biometric identity cards on November the 2nd after the Federal Council approved an ordinance change. That's not far from now. May as well say we're in September. Okay, then October, then November. So pretty much 2 months from now. The new card will carry a C-hip, storing a facial image and 2 fingerprints like the biometric passport. Biometric going into body measurement. Okay. And ultimately they want the C-hip inside you. See, it's all about gradualism. We say it all the time. Okay. Bit by bit, the mentally getting you and conditioning you into that convenience and, relying on technology more and trying to get you to be more connected to your phone, to contactless payments, to palm payments, and then ultimately to scanning your hand or, your forehead, all right, to make transactions. That's what it is. Sirach chapter 5 verse 15 reads, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." Exactly. So strides are being taken, all right, and different countries are on board with it. You see, existing non-biometric cards remain valid until they expire. For renewals or first-time applicants, the biometric version is recommended for those planning EU travel. The non-biometric cards remain sufficient for domestic use, and they'll make it harder when it comes to, because obviously they're gonna want to get away do away with them physical documents. Okay, so it'll make it harder for people that want to remain on that, because not everyone's gonna want to be down with this. Okay, but they're applying that squeeze as well. So that's that. Let's go to the next one. See, another country, again from Biometric Update, dated August the 25th, 2026. Somalia pushes for stronger adoption of, can't read that, digital ID app. See, app-based as well. See, the Internet of Body, the Internet of Things, all right? All right? Don't want you hooked up on that grid, man. And AI plays a part too. Somalia's National Identification and Registration Authority has made all fresh call on citizens to continue adopting the, I can't read that, digital ID app in order to get easier access to public and private services. All right. So this is the way forward. The app, which is available on Google Play and Apple App Store, was launched last year as part of efforts by the ID Authority to expand access to the country's national digital ID. See? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah? Of course they're going to push convenience and things of that nature. Alright? And, be quicker and, faffing around instead of getting your wallet out and using coins and things like that, notes to pay for things, you can just tap your card until it comes to that point where they want you to, when you have the SEEP in your hand and they want you to pay like that. It's all about, quick, efficient, way of going about things. Okay. But see, with all this technology as well, all right, again, they can control everything. Because once you have that SEEP inside you, they know what you're about to think, and they're trying to basically, the elites want that birthright back. These Edomites want that back. Right? They have that God complex and they want complete dominion over you, and they want you to come to them as God, as if they're the Most High. You see? It's really what it's all going down to. All roads leads down to the MOTB. The mobile application, labelled by authorities as a modern, secure and efficient alternative to the physical national ID card, allows citizens to carry their national ID digitally on a smartphone and provides a digital credential with the same legal validity as the physical card. It already has more than 50,000 downloads. Yeah, and that's going to increase. All right, they're going to, start putting out maybe even fines and things like that and laws to, for those that don't want to comply, and things like that to try and get you into this, get you on board this, get you on the grid, basically. Again, biometric update. FADA digital ID nears 50 million enrollments as adoption reshapes Ethiopia's economy. Dated August the 24th. These were all recent articles, just a few days ago. Launched in 2023, Ethiopia's national digital ID rollout has gained traction over the last 3 years, as seen not only in the growing number of those registering for the ID, but the palpable impact it is making. The rollout is speeding up, with 49.1 million enrollments already completed as of August 24, or the 24th of August. Thanks to the deployment of 12,000 biometric registration kits across the nation. According to the figures from the Ethiopian National ID Program, so far 150 agencies have been integrated with the system, with over 194 million digital Know Your Customer verifications to date. Like I said, I put the links to these in the description box beneath, man. Just more I'm going to go through briefly. Sri Lanka, see, another country, advances biometric passport rollout with new immigration bill. And people love to travel. And it won't just be for, pleasure, business and, meetings and stuff like that. Lawyers and stuff like that, go abroad or whatever. You see? So you see where things are heading. Sri Lanka has taken another step toward introducing biometric passports. Yep. Okay. When I've traveled recently, of course, there's airports where you place your fingers, off all your fingers on the reader thing, and it takes your fingerprints or just your thumb, and then you look into the camera and it scans your eyes and stuff like that, your iris. Right, you stay still and stuff like that. Yeah. So the legislation now published in the Government Gazette ahead of parliamentary consideration will replace the country's Immigration and Emigration Act of 1948 and provide the legal foundation of a biometric passport system based on a, open quote, one person, one passport, end quote, principle. Yeah. Haiti secures OAS, Japan backing to expand biometric ID system. $3 million project will provide 350,000 biometric ID cards, expand registration and support voter roll updates, election readiness. Armenia sets fees rollout for new biometric ID under PPP model. Dated August 19, 2026, yeah. So here we are, man. You there? Okay. Do not disturb off for a sec. Look at this. Norway's King Harald V dead, aged 89. Norway's King Harald V has died at the age of 89, the Royal Palace has announced. Recently, from RT, Trump claims he doubled US oil reserves with Venezuela deal. The president says Washington has secured majority control over 65 billion barrels. Huh. Yeah, so many things happening, man. Alright. It's all about getting you hooked on the grid and, yeah, having that app. And many things they'll be doing through that app. Okay? You know, you put all your information there and everything. Alright? Just like you have your banking app. Okay? Really, they'd rather you do everything on the app instead of you calling your bank in case you have any problems or worries or going into the bank branch. Okay? Alright? You move your money around and, you know, there's support and things like that. And other options you have. You replace a card or something like that. Before you call up and stuff like that, your card's missing or lost or stolen, you go on the app. At least, you know, my bank app that allows it. Alright, and then they'll issue one in the post. Okay, so many things happening, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to end it there. Okay. Shalom to the Lord's elect. Kal Halal Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Alright, and a bad babal to Ablayala.